We're not done with baseball because there's other games being played and there's still pennant races in other cities. And wow, what's going on in a couple of different spots.
Yeah, here are two teams red hot right now.
Let's talk about Bernie Brewer. Let's talk about the M's. Let's talk about the Milwaukee Brewers and the Seattle Mariners. Could you imagine if they wound up in the World Series? What a shocker that would be. Of course, the Padres wound up in the World Series playing their spring training partners, the Mariners. How weird would that be?
Eddie, the Vetter Cup in the World Series.
Yeah. Anyhow, let's talk about the Brewers and the Mariners. Nobody saw this coming. I mean, this is a Milwaukee team that was good, lost all of its pitching, notably Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, more than anybody else. All those guys gone. Major injuries, free agency, etc. Had Christian Yelich. And then slowly but surely, they started to build around him. And the young kids came, led by Jackson Chourio. And now you look at what the Brewers are. They are 76-44. They've won 12 in a row. The Brew Crew is on a 15-1 binge. Wins right now. Pat Murphy, the manager, who failed here as an interim manager, acted like he didn't want the job, didn't want to be here, and then was allowed to leave, goes to Milwaukee, works under Craig Counsell, whom he coached at Notre Dame. Counsell leaves to go to Wrigleyville. Pat Murphy gets elevated, and holy cow, you're talking about smart guy pushing all the right buttons. And his front office, led by former general manager David Stearns, who's now gone, man, they put a lot of good players in place. And they're doing it with everybody hits, and they're doing a lot of young pitching. And the most heartwarming thing is Brandon Woodruff, who was an ace of the staff and underwent 2 surgeries, was out more than 2+ years, like 600 days. He's come back, and I think he's unbeaten. I think he's 3-0 since coming off the DL. I mean, this is a really interesting Milwaukee Brewers team. And then there's the Mariners. Now, if A.J. Preller is a lunatic, then Jerry Dipoto is a madman, because Dipoto must have drank from the same Kool-Aid as Preller. He just keeps making trades and deals and never stops. He's an ultimate wheeler dealer. He's got himself a really good team. And Seattle's there. They're on an 11-2 streak right now, and they're trying to pull away from what would be a Houston Astros team, and they're bloody hot too. They are 6 deep in the starting pitching, and then for 2 years they had Julio Rodriguez against the world. They didn't have a lot of hitting around him. And then J.P. Crawford became a hitting shortstop. And then at the trade deadline, they added Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor, and suddenly Seattle's a really deep, really dangerous team who can sting you with the long ball. And by the way, they got 6 starters they can run at you. I mean, these two teams are the stunners, the surprises. Whereas the Yankees have been wiped out by injuries. The Mets never had enough pitching. Atlanta was destroyed before they ever got out of spring training. And look who's at the top of the standings. The Padres, the Mariners, the Milwaukee Brewers. You tell me you had that on your bingo card. I'll tell you you're a liar. But go ahead, John, talk about the red-hot baseball teams.
Isn't it interesting, though, how Seattle Mariners and the Milwaukee Brewers are sort of on that northern end of the United States border up there, and they kind of quietly do their business. Yeah. And a lot of times they quietly don't impress anybody. But right now, yeah, they're red hot. I mean, and think about this. If the Mariners, the Brewers, or the Padres, those are 3 teams that have never won a World Series.
Cactus League cousins.
They are. So maybe like one of them will break through, which I think would be a great thing for those fans in those communities. But, you know, I have a friend of mine is from Milwaukee, and so we're always texting back and forth. And he loves his Brewers and his Bucks and his Packers, right? But the Brewers, they seem to make the playoffs, I don't know, 3 out of every 4 years. And they usually lose in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And, but who else is on the Mariners, by the way, who you didn't mention was Randy Arozarena.
Sure.
And he's having a hell of a year too.
That's another Dipoto acquisition a year ago.
Yeah. So it's both of these squads. I'm really happy for them. I'm trying to think of the other teams that have not won a World Series besides these 2 and the Padres. I think maybe the Rockies, and I think there's like one other team. So it'd be nice if one of these guys breaks through.
Well, we still got 6 weeks of baseball to be played, but I'll tell you, aside from what the Padres are doing, we're paying all of our attention there. What Seattle and what Milwaukee have done, absolutely amazing. Hey, we are at halftime.